In today's episode of Techcess, I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about Windows Server 2012 and that it's going to end of life, which means that it's coming to an end. I'm Mark Riddell from M3 Networks. We are an IT support and cybersecurity specialist because we know that running a business is hard enough as it is, right, without IT causing more headaches and frustration, which is why we aim to make IT an enjoyable experience for our customers. If you'd like to find out more about what we do, check us out at m3networks.co.uk. If you are still using Windows Server 2012, you need to listen to the rest of this episode so that you are informed and can make decisions before it gets too late and you find out that your server is no longer receiving updates. But first, if any of your staff are working remotely, then here's something that you need to be on top of. Because remote and hybrid working is now a norm for a lot of people out there. And a recent survey has found that despite it being more than 2 years since many of us were forced to work from home, too many businesses still don't have the right cybersecurity measures in place for those away from the office. And the survey was originally intended to learn about spending plans from now into next year. However, the results highlighted just how few businesses have the right cybersecurity protections in place, and this is a major worry. And since the beginning of the pandemic, cybersecurity incidents like malware, ransomware, and data breaches have risen sharply, and cybercriminals begin to take advantage of the panic and have since developed increasingly sophisticated tactics. Now, it's costing businesses around the world billions, plus causing excessive downtime. And while the survey did show that around 2/3 of businesses have good web security measures in place, things like malware filters, antivirus and whatnot, some of the results were more disappointing. And just 50% of companies have cloud-based cybersecurity systems in place right now, although about 15% of those are exploring their options. Now, cloud security gives businesses multiple layers of protection across their network and infrastructure that helps to keep data better protected against breaches or attacks. And now, not only is it a good defense, but it also identifies threats before they become an issue in your business. Now, the survey also highlighted that 10% of businesses plan to implement access management, which ensures only the right people can access the right systems. And this is a very, very good idea. In fact, it's something that is part of Cyber Essential certification here in the UK. And a further 9% intend to prioritize VPNs, or which is a virtual private network, to allow secure network access for your remote workers. And they're also looking at zero trust solutions where your network assumes that every device or connection is a threat until proven otherwise. Of course, our advice is that you should already have these kind of security solutions in place, especially if you have a lot of remote or hybrid workers, or not even if you have a lot of them, even just one person working remotely presents a security issue. So if not, this is something that you need to pick up on. And if you want to get in touch with me, we can have a chat about that. But now we're going to get back to the main topic of today's episode, which is Windows Server 2012 and Server 2012 R2, or Release 2, which is going end of life. So Windows Server 2012 R2 was released, actually not in 2012 at all, it was released in October 2013.
Want to transform your storage into a dynamic storage pool? Bring the efficiency of cloud computing inside your data center with the only server built from the cloud up.
And the end-of-life roadmap from Microsoft actually began with the end of mainstream support, which was back in October 2018. And currently, we are in the extended support phase, which goes on until October 2023. So we've got just over a year left before we go out of the extended support phase. And after 2023 in October, businesses still using Server 2012 and 2012 R2 will no longer receive any critical security updates and patches. So of course, we recommend that you update your operating system before then. And to be honest, given how long this server and operating system has been around, it's probably not just an update to the operating system, it's probably a hardware replacement of your server, or probably now is the time to have a discussion with your IT provider about should we move to the cloud, either fully to the cloud or in a hybrid cloud situation. So let's just talk about the difference between mainstream support and extended support from Microsoft for one of their products. Now, mainstream support is essentially This is when a product has just been released, and for the first 5 years of its lifespan, it's continually updated with new features, service packs, updates, fixes. It gets the full works, right? Microsoft are still effectively developing the platform after it's been released. And Microsoft also offer things like real-time support, so you phone support during this phase. And the earlier you invest in, a product that's just been released, the longer you're going to get that mainstream support. So if you buy the product the minute it comes out, you've got 5 years of the best support you're going to get for that product, okay? Extended support covers the latter 5 years of the product support. So, you get the mainstream support for 5 years and then it goes into extended support, and that's the phase we're in right now. So it's no longer the focus of Microsoft anymore, and likely, and which it has several times, been succeeded by another product. So we've had Server 2012, then Server 2016, Server 2019, and we're looking at Server 2022 now. So it's been around for a long time. It's had a lot of shelf life, and you tend to find that a lot of businesses have probably moved on from it. But just like our customers, there'll be a lot of businesses out there that still have old 2012 servers that need to be replaced. So, you still get your security updates and patches for critical things. That's literally all you're getting right now. But non-security hotfixes will not be delivered unless you have a separate extended support agreement with Microsoft, which is something that comes at a cost and you have to pay for. So, what's going to happen when extended support ends? Well, the most important thing to remember about this is that once it's expired, the product will almost entirely be unprotected by Microsoft. Microsoft will not release any security updates and fixes, which means that your 2012 server is a sitting duck, effectively, completely open to any new security vulnerabilities that come out after October 2023. So you're not getting anything, any patches for key exploits and things, and you won't even be able to pay for support anymore. That part is you can during the extended support. The product is simply unsupported going forward. So the problem then it creates for businesses is almost certain that cyber attackers are already starting to gear up for this. They'll be waiting patiently for the product's extended support to end next year. And like I said, it's just over a year away, at which point they'll be doing all they can to find exploits. And the first thing they'll do, which is not that difficult, is to find out which businesses are still using Server 2012. So if you're still using this operating system by the end of October next year, you are going to find yourself a sitting duck to lots of new cybersecurity attacks that come out then, because this is effectively what cyber criminals do. They exploit situations, right? You're exposing your data and you're exposing your network to potential breaches. So what should any business out there who's still using Server 2012 do about it? Well, of course, it comes down to a lot of the things that I say in the podcast, which is simply to take action. You need to start planning for this now, because you want to make sure that you're ahead of the game here. You want to, especially if you're thinking about moving to the cloud and you're not just replacing the server like for like. That's a fairly simple thing to do. We have a server, replace it for a new one with new hardware, new software. However, when you come to these kind of big milestones in IT, you really want to be having the discussions about, should we move to the cloud now? Is it the time for us to do this? Is it possible for us to do this? And then looking at what your options are. A lot of businesses are finding that a hybrid cloud environment is more suitable rather than full cloud. And of course, the only way you're going to know this is to have these conversations with your IT provider right now. And to be honest, if you're running Server 2012, I would be expecting your IT company to be reaching out to you and having these conversations, because they will know that this is on the horizon. And you don't want to find out that they've got 50 customers with Server 2012 that need to be replaced in the next year, because, you can do the maths quite easily to realize that, replacing 50 servers or migrating 50 businesses to the cloud, depending on the size of your IT company, of course, and what resources they have, but that's not something that can just be done overnight. And these are big jobs that need planning in advance. Okay, so the sooner you start the ball rolling, then the better and the easier it is going to be for you. Like I said, if your IT company hasn't been in touch with you yet, or will be probably expecting a lot of IT companies to be reaching out to their customers by the end of this year, once there's less than 12 months to go in terms of the support. And assuming, of course, that your IT company's on the ball with this, right? And they're being proactive and they're thinking about this ahead of time. But you don't want to find out that you get to, September next year and you've only got a month left to go of support. Because of course, as I probably am expecting here, that getting server hardware may become difficult then, because there'll be lots of people rushing it out the door at the last minute to try and replace their server that's going out of support. So yeah, the sooner you do it, the easier it is for you, and you can assess all your options properly instead of being forced in to make a decision right at the last minute. Of course, I'm here if you want to reach out to me to have that chat. Any M3 customers listening to this who have Server 2012, which is a few, we will be reaching out in the coming weeks to have those discussions with all you guys. But anyone out there who isn't working with M3, who wants to have a chat about what their options are and, ask me any questions about their business and about what's right for them, then that's what I'm here for. So please reach out. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Techcess. Take care. We'll see you in the next episode.
Techcess is an M3 Networks podcast. Find out more at m3networks.co.uk.